let's see when this wakes up. Let's just give yourself a good nose blow here. Let's see if we can get the sound to work here. Where's the sound? Is anybody home? It's not operational yet. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Okay, where are we? Oh, we're live. Okay, we're live. We're live. Okay, so let's give this a title. Edit video. Let's edit video. Make a new window, and I wonder, what are we going to call this? Salem Cook editing chicken pot pie. Okay, so I figured that, let's just zoom down a little bit here. I don't know why on my phone I only see the top of my head. Chicken pot pie, and let's change the thumbnail. Find ourselves a good thumbnail. Live thumbnails. Where's my live thumbnails? Live, sail past live. There we are. Save. Very good. Now, hey, Caesar Mocha, thank you. You are number one with a crown. I'm so happy to see you. You know, it's you've been with me for almost 2 years now. I think when we did our first live, it's been maybe 2 years. Let's see what YouTube thinks of when we started this live. So the first live is when? I don't know. 34. So the first live we did was on the boat. Yeah, it was on the boat, sitting in the back of the boat on March 30th, 2025. Was that on the back of the boat on March? I don't know if the boat was in the water on March, but I guess it is. So not sure how that works. So let's just close that. Let's see if we have sound. Not sure how that works. Okay, I can hear myself, so that's very, very good. Let's type show link to drop link. Type show link to drop link, yes. And we want to pin this message. And what is it about? Editing a cooking show and making AI music. So we're gonna somewhere online, and I was in a few people's lives this morning. I said I would do liver and cabbage, and liver and cabbage is kind of boring. So I'd rather do chicken pot pie, because I got this idea for making a chicken pot pie, and a bit of research, and people have made chicken pot pie without a crust, because the crust, of course, on a boat we don't have an oven, so you can't really bake the pie. So it's really got to be done in a frying pan or in a skillet. And the pardon me, the if I go full size here, Oh, I see. Okay, so that's how I go full size on the phone. And hey, Ellen Smile, thank you. Nice to see you. It's like we just saw each other a little while ago, so glad to have you aboard. I said I was going to do liver and cabbage, and I've changed my mind, and we're going to do fake chicken pot pie. Partly because the liver and cabbage is very fast. There's only two ingredients: liver and cabbage, and some salt and a few other things. And the chicken pot pie is a little bit more interesting, a little bit more colorful. And yeah, so I changed my mind a little bit about that. So chicken pot pie. So let's take a look at that. We'll start with this. And then once I've got the basic footage assembled, so we know what the length of it is, then we'll go over to Google Gemini and create ourselves some background music for this. I've really decided I like Google Gemini. It's free. The sound isn't bad. I'm not a musician, although I've created some with an electronic keyboard that I'm not unhappy with. The Google created is better. Now I think people that are monetized have had AI music a little bit longer already, built into the music studio thing on on Google. I don't have that, so I'm just using plain Google AI. And I had tried this originally with Sunu and a couple of other people selling AI music. And in all cases, I was a little bit worried about licensing. Some of them seem sketchier than others. So I'm going to flip this phone around and aim it at my computer. And then we will see what we're talking about here. So this, trying to make it fit. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, that's too far. There we are. Hide some of my crap and corruption down there. So, so chicken pot pie. And what I'm sort of aiming this whole channel at, and I'm trying to turn it into a cookbook, and I'm trying to write the forward for the cookbook to for the reason you might consider this as a book as opposed to just a cooking online show, and it's related to cooking on a boat. Not completely, because a lot of stuff I do not on the boat. All winter long I've been cooking here in the house. But one of the things around cooking on a boat is, and relates to pies need ovens. At least traditionally pies need ovens. You make the crust and put it in the oven, and then you bake it. What's that song? 420 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, I don't know, birds began to sing. Something about that. Can't remember how that one goes. But so on my little boat, the oven doesn't work. It's a gas propane oven. And be my guest, Ellen. What are you having? Chicken pot pie. The the oven doesn't work. And this year I'm actually going to try to figure out why. I'm hoping don't have a propane leak. I disconnected the thing last year when I was trying to figure out how to make it work. The boat's 20 years old. Cooking you can easily do on a single burner propane stove, which is what I've been doing. But an oven is a challenge. If you're in another mobile environment, an RV or camping, ovens are hard to come by. So that long ramble is somehow sort of the reason for a cookbook of things that are easy to make in a kitchen that you might find in a mobile environment like a boat or an RV. Um, I can't think of any housing situation, even this tiniest apartment condo has an oven. Um, I did think of bringing a toaster oven down because at the dock I've got enough power, but it's big and takes up a lot of space, and I couldn't see the real point in it. So what we're going to do is make a pie that doesn't have a crust, and so this is the footage from making said pie. Here we are, we're cooking, and what I did is I actually went back twice. So um, this is the pie, my first presentation. Um, and it's basically the chicken pot stuff covered in saltine cracker bits broken up. And when I ate it, there was too much saltine cracker related to the amount of chicken. So it tasted good, but then I remade it to look a little bit different and a different concept as well from a presentation point of view. And that is basically my chicken pot pie with a few saltines on the side so that you would, when you're eating it, you'd use as much saltine cracker as you wanted. And I found when I ate it the second time, in this picture, I've got 4 crackers. I really ended up almost ignoring crackers altogether. I didn't miss the crust at all. So that's where we're going with this. So it's a crustless chicken pot pie. I served it in a dish so that it has a little bit of that pie shape. And it ended up being pretty good. It ended up being pretty good. The taste was remarkably the taste of chicken pot pie. I admit I've never made it with a crust, but I've bought or purchased it at the grocery store and heated it up, and mine actually tasted a little bit better. So let's minimize this, get out of the way, and let's open up our good friend Premiere, which I've already opened. And this is my timeline. It's took me 13 minutes of video. It actually probably took a little bit longer because I didn't record all of the cooking, boiling parts, because it's boring right after you. How many minutes of cooking peas and carrots does the world really need? If we're doing it live, then of course we'd go on for as long as necessary. And the video is recorded in order of what makes it easy to photograph it. So I'm cutting up all of my ingredients at first, even though in real life I would, I'm cutting up some celery here. I don't need the celery until about 5 minutes in, but if I do it in sequence, then my shooting area, the area that I'm recording on, doesn't make sense. So one of the things you got to do is reorder this into a way that the story it makes sense, and avoid what have I got here? Let's see where the heck the time went off. There, you're gone. Okay. And yeah, so part of the editing, people say, oh, that's interesting editing. is building a story, right? The objective is to make it interesting and to keep people captivated for 7, 8, 9 minutes. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got, because I did this actually 2 weeks ago, April 29th, so that's a week ago. And I've already forgotten what I've done. I do write a script before I do this. And I sometimes improve on the script as I'm going along because things um, look different in real life. So let's just start over here. So here we are cutting up an onion, cutting up some celery, cutting up a rotisserie chicken. And I wanted to do this with a rotisserie chicken because I had a rotisserie chicken. And it also avoids dealing with raw chicken, keeping it, and makes it go a little bit faster. And here at home, Canada, a raw chicken is almost the same price as a rotisserie chicken. I think if we go to Costco, it's even cheaper. But then the raw chickens at Costco are cheaper as well. So I wanted to do this with a rotisserie chicken. Now, previously, I'd made mac and cheese with a rotisserie chicken, and that was really, really good. And my first thought was, what am I going to do with this chicken? Was make mac and cheese, but I've already done it, and I'm quite happy with the way that video turned out. So we got some butter here, a whole fresh pound of it, and I took some pictures of the butter for my stock photography at Adobe. Nobody's bought one yet, but eventually somebody will. So the butter goes in the pan, and then the onions go in the butter, and the celery goes in the butter. So basically, we cut the onion, do the pan, then cut the celery, put that in. The timing would basically work because the onion, you want to fry it for a few minutes longer than the celery. So if it takes you a minute to cut up the celery, then the timing would work perfectly. And here, okay, so now peas and carrots. So I had a year ago when I started this series, and again, looking at the boat issues and RV and mobile kitchen issues, is how do you store ingredients? So I had tried a few things with dried carrots. I had looked for a combination of dried carrots and peas. Never actually found them. I did find them, but they were more of a soup mix, so they had a few other things in them that might have been pretty good, to be honest. So this is frozen peas and carrots, which, yeah, you're not going to keep in a boat for very long because it'll frozen unless you got a good freezer. And the freezer on my boat does work. It will keep a bag of frozen peas and carrots going for the summer. But then what else are you going to put in that fridge? So eventually your fridge ends up being full. So here we did the peas and carrots, stir, 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 stir. Okay, so what am I doing here? I think I'm adding some chicken broth. Why don't I look to see what you go away. Let's find, here's the script, the order for what I did, chicken broth and cream. Okay, so let's fix the spelling of celery because I need the spelling to be right. So basically butter, onion, does that show up on the screen? I don't know if it shows up on the screen or not. It should. Butter, onion, chicken, frozen vegetables, celery, broth, cream, flour as needed, spices, garlic powder. May as well spell this properly so that it's ready for when we put it into the video, because I do put the ingredients into the video. Hey, Dings, thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate the visit. I think I was visiting you yesterday, if I remember correctly. And paprika, not in traditional chicken pot pie, but I wanted something a little bit spicy, but I didn't want to put in red chili flakes because I have put in red chili flakes. I learned that from some of the kitchens that I photographed for Uber, and sometimes I like it, and sometimes I ask myself, why did I put so much spice in? Some dried parsley, dried. I think this was dried parsley, yeah. So I did buy some fresh parsley, but I think that was for, I can't remember what I, did I chop the parsley? I guess I didn't chop the parsley, so I must have used dried parsley. We'll see when we're looking back at the video. A bit of flour to thicken it, and saltine crackers. So that's the recipe. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. And so there's the chicken broth. There's the stirring, stir, 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 stir. Okay, here's spices, spices, spices. Obviously, that's definitely dried parsley. And always taste it. You know, the taste, yeah, you always taste it, but I think adding tasting to the video reinforces that the cook should be involved in making sure that the taste is not a surprise. You can still make it change. And I think what I decided was I needed some salt. Did I put salt? I don't know if I put any salt. What's the agenda say? It doesn't say anything but salt. Salt to taste. So let's put salt to taste. I may have decided that because the chicken itself, rotisserie chicken, is salty, and here we've got some of the skin that has all the good rotisserie spices mixed in the pot, and sometimes I end up using low salt chicken broth because it's better for you, and then you can adjust the salt afterward. But this ended up being regular full salt, regular chicken broth, and I think it was salty enough. But we'll put salt to taste because I did a couple times overlook salt or didn't plan on salt, and then I'm asking myself, why does it taste so bland? And it's because I didn't put salt in it. Now, I've also put in too much salt, and then I asked myself, how do I make this less salty? And it's hard to take salt out. I was once successful where I had made 2 servings. So I ate one for lunch right after I made it. And then I saved the rest for the second day. And I added some more no salt chicken broth to the recipe, to the dish. And it did a good job of cutting the saltiness. This was the fresh pasta radiatori recipe. Okay, so here we're adding some cream, and that looks really, really good. And we're stirring, stirring, stirring. What am I doing here? Added a bit of flour. You know, in the end, I'm not sure it needed flour. Certainly by the second day, it had thickened up nicely. The first day, I think it was good because it's not chicken soup. Although I did find somebody that made chicken pot pie soup, which would really be a nice idea. And so what are we doing here? Oh, there's some salt. Okay, so I did put some salt in. I guess I didn't write it. Why did I put salt in? I don't talk while I'm doing this because I want the sound of the cooking. So I did sprinkle it with salt. So that's probably a 1/4 teaspoon. Not a lot, especially because this is sea salt that was been on the boat for a couple years, and it picks up a lot of water. So every once in a while I have to bath it to loosen it up. but it's nice and coarse, and it has a nicer salty taste. Okay, so here we are breaking up the saltine crackers. Now I'm going to, so here I broke them up, and then I'm going to serve it out, and I'm going to put the saltine crackers on top. I did not like that. So here, okay, so somewhere there is okay, so I have for my presentation, I didn't, let's take these two clips with the full crackers, bring them in, and I think I'm going to use them instead. It looks nicer. This is kind of messy. This is less messy. I guess I don't show putting the cracker on top. So I'm going to get rid of this clip, this clip. Oh, that's me talking about it. Okay, so this guy we don't need. We're going to delete him. And delete him, delete him. Okay, so now we're down to only 12 minutes. I think the presentation is nicer, and as I say, when I found that when I covered the whole thing with crackers, because I wanted to emulate the crust of a pie crust, I was less happy with the taste because I got too much cracker in my forkful. Now, part of the way through, I was thinking maybe I should use Ritz crackers because I've done stuff with Ritz cracker crumbs, and the Ritz crackers add a very interesting taste, a very interesting spice to the. Hey guys, so there's lots of people watching. Stick around, say hello, say something. Click that thumbs up like button. Appreciate the company. Appreciate feedback if anybody has any thoughts on this. So here is basically where we're at. So let's just take this and move it to the beginning because we need, while we're rearranging things, we want to introduce, we're going to eliminate the sound here. You don't see me doing that. You don't need the sound of this. And we want about 4 seconds of an intro. Ooh, it's 15 seconds. We don't need 15 seconds of people looking at. Okay, so here we're going to start this. So where is 4 seconds? There is 8 seconds. That's nice. Okay, we don't need to come that close. Partly the reason I was moving the fork closer is that the stupid camera. It's an Olympus OM still camera that I'm using the video features to act as a video camera, and it's set to continuous autofocus, but sometimes like the autofocus is right in the middle. We have, I guess it's set slightly lower because when at the angle, this is closer to the camera, this is further from the camera. So the autofocus is set for about there, but once in a while, okay, yeah, so that's away from the autofocus. So that's why it's not focusing properly. And that's just a little bit of planning when I'm doing this. Okay, so we got 8 seconds of intro. I like that. We're going to find another piece for intro. What is this little tiny clip in here? What the heck is this? This is, where's effect control? Let's just zoom out a little bit. This is recorded in 4K. I'm editing in HD 2K. So that gives me a lot of opportunity to zoom in and out. So this is 50% of the whole whole size, um, but it looks really nice. So what this is, I guess I took a photo of the, let's zoom out on this one a little bit as well. Okay, so I don't really need this little piece here. Let's get rid of it. Reveal and project, you're gone. What number is it? It is clip number 28. Delete. Clip number 28 is just cut up chicken on a board. Not that exciting. Okay, so now what we're looking, oh yeah, I'm looking for some of the cooking. And I think here, before I put the spices in, so here we have the, see, by the time the chicken goes in, it's, the broth makes it not look that interesting anymore, does it? Oh, you know what? Maybe it does look good. Maybe it does look good. I like that. Okay, so this is going to be our second part of our introduction. We'll make a copy of it. We'll paste it out here for a minute. We don't need the sound because it'll be me talking over it. So where do we want? We want 4 seconds. Let's see if this works. Okay, how many seconds is that? That is 8 seconds. If we speed it up just a hair, it'll be 6 seconds. 130. Doesn't look too bad. It's not quite bright enough. Let's see if we can brighten it up. Where is my light? The color control. I want to brighten my shadows. And I want to make it more saturated so that I can see the carrots and the peas. And what else do I want to do? That's basically it. So that's good. So this is going to be our introduction with the captain talking about how great it's going to be. Okay, now what we've done here is let's just center this. That's full size. That's not bad. I don't mind that at all. That's full size. I don't mind that at all. I think I got to make the blacks a little bit darker, just the edge of the frying pan. I don't want the, see, I want it to be bright here. See here, this is the camera focusing. So this is, see, so now it's zooming in on here and it's focusing different. And now it's zooming out. So that's not so bad. Okay, so now, what's the first thing we have to do for this? We're going to, because we want to keep people's interest, we're going to cut up our chicken. No, that can't work. I'd like to cut up the chicken. Where's my chicken cutting up? Here we are. The problem is I've only got one cutting board. So as I'm cutting each vegetable, I'm putting it aside and then putting back on the board for the visual effect of, hey, Bombay, haven't seen you in a long, long time. Haven't seen you in a long, long time, Boomboy. Or have I? I can't remember. It's been so long. I don't think I have visited you in forever. Oh, okay. You're not. I'm not subscribed. I will subscribe. I will watch a bunch of stuff and like a bunch of stuff. Thank you for coming by my my live. I guess there's another guy who just called himself Bye Boy that I did follow for a while, and then he seems to have disappeared. So yeah, thank you for coming by. No, I think maybe you're the same guy because how come you have a wrench? Who knows? It who knows? Glad you're coming by. So what am I doing here? Okay, so what am I going to do with this chicken? If I cut up the chicken first, what am I going to put it on while I'm doing that? So the story starts falling apart. I should have used a different cutting board for my chicken as for my veggies. The problem with that, of course, is that the other part of my strategy. Hey, Brad Palmer, thank you for coming by. Appreciate that. Thank you for coming by. It's been a couple of weeks. If I use the same cutting board for cutting chicken and cutting celery, is it the same cutting board? Yeah, it is the same red cutting board. I'm going to have a continuity problem because if I left the chicken on the cutting board, how am I using a clean, empty cutting board for cutting my celery? So I'm going to leave continuity alone for the time being and just let's take this cutting up of the chicken. I do want to do it first because it's all about the chicken. And by doing the chicken first, I have some interest in, okay, so this, it's interesting. I already cut off one of the legs and had that for an early lunch. So here, okay, so let's take that off. We don't need to see the chicken without a leg. I guess I should have turned it the other way so that the camera sees the leg that's there. I had the wings too. Okay, so how many seconds is that? That's 12 seconds of cutting up off the chicken. Now I'm cutting it up in pieces. And I'm putting in some leg as part. So that's, or maybe, okay, that's the leg that I cut off. How many seconds of that do we need? Let's take out the first few frames. Okay. First of all, back here, let's zoom out just a little bit. That's good. Maybe I should have turned the chicken sideways. Too late now. Okay. We don't need the first 2 seconds of that, me swatting that piece of string. And now we're cutting off a piece of chicken. And we're going to cut it up in pieces. Let's zoom out of this a little bit as well. There we are. So I cut off a leg and the breast. That was more than I had planned, to be quite honest. I think I said 2 cups worth of chicken meat for this recipe. That turned out to be pretty good. Okay, we'll stop there. That's 20 seconds. We don't need that fiddling with the knife. Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. 120%, not much. So we're down to 15 seconds of time for cutting that up. And now what have we got here? I'm going to cut up the leg. I don't think we need to cut up. Let's leave it in because I do want about 8 or 9 minutes of video. And then if I don't like it, I can take it out because how long is it? It's 18 seconds. So that's a good chunk out of an 8 or 9 minute video. 17 seconds is a quarter of a minute. Okay, so now so basically what I've said, we're going to start, and in my voiceover dialogue, it's going to be something about the hero ingredient. We don't need that much of that. Is rotisserie chicken, because then we don't have to spend as much time on sautéing the chicken because it's already been cooked. And it adds a taste. I mean, I like the spices, rotisserie chicken spices. I looked if you could buy them. I never could. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to say, okay, let's put that aside. And now get back to the boring ingredients. The onion. How long are we cutting up an onion? 52 seconds, way too long. Keep saying, somebody once told me, I'd taken 2 minutes to cut up an onion, and one comment I got on that was, I want my 2 minutes of the life back that you wasted forcing me to watch you cutting up an onion. And I did appreciate the fact that person stuck around that long, but yeah, it's kind of boring. Okay, so we're going to cut that. And then we're going to cheat, and we don't need that. Okay, we're going to cut the onion in half. Okay, so what are we doing here? Cutting off we're going to talk about the onion. So that's kind of neat. A little bit of activity there. Okay. That's where we cut the onion in half. You don't need to watch me peeling off the bad parts. Okay, so it's getting shorter already. And now we're going to cut it in chunks. Close enough. It's centered a little bit. Okay, so how many seconds do we have here of cutting this? 21 seconds. Let's speed it up. 130%. How to make it 15 seconds? 16 seconds. So that's a lot better. So now we've got how much long is our onion story? From 51 seconds to 14, so it's 24 seconds of onion chopping. That's not bad. And now what are we going to do? Okay, so now in the sequence, I cut up the celery. But what I really want to do is I want to put this onion in the pan. So where am I putting the onion in the pan? So here I'm putting some butter. I do want to show cutting up the butter. Hey, Joe G, thank you hey, I haven't seen you in a month. Can't remember what you were dancing somewhere. You weren't dancing. I think you were outside somewhere. I can't remember what it was about, but I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming by. I'll make a note to look for you. Let's cut off this part where it's jumping around. So we're going to cut off a 1/4 pound of butter. There's our 1/4 pound of butter. And what's this here? Okay, so this is just getting out my my frozen vegetables. Not sure why I recorded that, but let's leave it where it is. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Joji. Oh, you're such a good dancer. But yeah, hips are important for the dancing. Okay, so we're putting this in the pan. Let's see, does this look good? Yeah, there we are. Don't need 10 seconds of putting butter in the pan. Okay, how many seconds is that? 6 seconds, that's good. Just check out Joji. I mean, she's such a interesting singer, dancer, um, nice theatrics. Um, nice way to spend a bit of time. Okay, so that's that. Let's zoom out a little bit. So now in my sequence, I've got my onion cut up. No, now I've got celery. Okay, let's get the celery out of the way. Put it over here. And okay, so what am I doing here? So my story is I cut up my chicken, I'm going to cut up my onion. I'm going to ignore the fact I'm going to ignore the fact that I've got the cutting board full of chicken and now I'm cutting up other stuff. Because in real life, I ended up cutting the chicken last because the chicken leaves barbecue sauce on all over it, so it makes it a mess. But we can pretend I've got 2 cutting boards. Okay, butter goes in, mix it around, and add some onions. Okay, that's 3 seconds. Add the onions, zoom out a little bit. There's my onions. And that's that. End of the action is there. I take the spatula out, so no more action, so we don't need to watch that. Okay, so this is boiling. Okay, so now where did I put my celery? Is this my celery? Here's my celery. Okay, so let's go back here. Stick our celery in here. And see how much celery we need. So what I did an insert edit that Premiere does where it moves everything aside and puts a new clip in there. And okay, so how much celery we got? We've got 54 seconds of cutting up celery. It's way too boring for that. Okay, so let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see what we're actually doing here. Let's start there. Start there. Okay, cut, cut, cut. I'm going to cut this here because I want to speed that up. So here, how many seconds is this? 18 seconds. So that's way too long. We don't need all of that at the beginning. Down to 16 seconds. Cut. Take a couple seconds off there. And now we're cutting it up. Cut, 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 cut. Close enough. 22 seconds. Speed 140. Make sure that the Yeah, it looks good. And what's interesting is that Premiere, what you can, when you speed up the video, the sound is still the same sound. I haven't checked it 100%, but the sound is still realistic. So cut out some celery, and now I'm putting the celery in the. And that makes sense. If it took a minute to cut up the celery. Now, if you had to go wash the celery and so on, then yeah, your timing doesn't really work, and you're going to burn your onions. But okay, let's take out that. Okay, so that's the amount of time for stirring that. Okay, and now what I'm doing here is I'm putting in my frozen peas and carrots, because chicken pot pie needs peas and carrots. So somewhere here, I think I took a picture of this, so there might be a flash. Interesting to I got a bunch of Godox flashes, big photo flashes, and one I hadn't used in probably 3 years, 2024, 2 years. And the lithium-ion battery has died, so it won't take a charge. And I'm searching YouTube to see who has ideas on how I can recharge that battery. And of course, you hear about. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You hear about lithium-ion battery fires, and I'm trying to not blow myself up. So when I do this battery thing, I'm going to do it outside, so that if it all catches fire, then at least I'm not burning down the house, because we do have a enough lithium-ion battery fires. We had one on a commuter bus. We have them on people's balconies. We have them in people's houses, and yeah, we don't want to. Okay, so let's zoom out to 100%, full size, bring it down, center it. The yellow bag, people in Canada will recognize that as a no-name, Loblaws no-name product. Peas and carrots, they're peas and carrots. No name is cheap. I'm quite happy with them. Okay, so there we put the peas and carrots in. We're into 2 minutes into the video. That's not so bad. Okay, now we're mixing this, and we're going to let it. We don't need that much time of that. Let's zoom out so that we can see the lid closing. We don't need that. Now, am I making it too short? We're down to 10 minutes. Okay, so we still have lots of time. Does that look good? Yeah. Okay, where is the lid coming down? Down, 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 down. Lid, down. There's where the lid starts. So what we sort of want to do. Hey, Ellen, you're still there. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. How was your dinner? Okay, so here, this is 70% in size, 71%. Okay, so this has to be a bit bigger. Okay, so we just got the edge of the pan on the left, edge of the pan on the left. So here is where the handle is. Let's go down a little bit then. Okay, so does that work? What happened? Oh, I guess I moved the... It jiggled. Either the camera jiggled or the pot jiggled. Okay, so here we're gonna let that cook for a while. How many seconds is this? A couple seconds. Okay, so now what's happening here? We're gonna let it stir some more. Okay, so now what are we doing here? Let's zoom out so we can see the broth being poured into the... Okay, so maybe we don't need all of that. So what does that look like? We'll close the lid. I like that. Maybe let's try a cross dissolve here. I don't use a lot of effects, but let's do a cross dissolve. Almost like to do a blur, but I don't have one set up here. Let's do a cross dissolve. See what that looks like. Close the lid. It gets blurry from... Oh, that's not bad. I like that. We'll leave that in. Okay, so here we are. We're going to pour some broth in. We're letting it boil. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to figure out, I got to come up with something to say while we're doing all of this. But I think we got enough time there. Okay, so now we're stirring. I'm just going to leave that stirring in there the way it is, and then take it out if I'm bored. Okay, so close, stir, stir, stir. Okay, we don't really need to watch the pot cloud up. What am I doing here? Okay, I think this is the spicing section, right? Yeah, so we're putting in spices. So let's zoom out. Effect controls. Okay, center it. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the top because, so we bring the spoon in from here because the camera's at this end and it's looking out towards me. Okay, so here. Okay, so I can see something, but let's add some spices. So the most important spice in a chicken pot pie is thyme. So there's my thyme, there's my garlic powder, there's my paprika, there's my parsley. Okay, I'm going to leave that lid in there. It's not really necessary. Okay, I like this for tasting it. Get rid of the first 8 frames because there's no sound. So it sounds weird when you listen to it. Taste, up she goes. Close it. It gives me enough time to say, needs salt. No, I didn't say it needs salt. That's interesting that I tasted it, but did I taste it again? I can't remember what I did. Maybe I tasted it at the wrong point in time. So here, what am I doing here? I'm putting in the chicken. Am I tasting it again? Adding the cream. Add the cream, 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 cream. Mix, mix, mix. Did I taste it a second time? Stir, 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 stir. Okay, so I tasted it a second time. So I'm going to take out this tasting because in the end, it's the wrong time to taste it. because the chicken skin adds a lot of flavor. Yeah, so let's just get rid of this. This is the wrong time to taste it. So let's remove this clip. Reveal on project, only use once. What number is it? It is number 39. Where is clip number 39? Clip number 39, we don't want you. Okay, let's go back here. I have to just go check something. So what we don't want to taste it now. We're going to taste it later. So here, what are we doing? Adding the chicken. Okay, so how long is this clip? This is 43 seconds. Okay. Let's take that out. Does that look good? Okay, this was where I took a still picture for the cookbook. That's why nothing's happening there. I figured it wasn't worth turning off the camera. Okay, Joji, we'll see you again. Check out chair dancing. Okay, chicken goes in. Okay, that's a good transition from putting the chicken in, mixing it around. Close that. And now what am I doing? This is just a close-up of mixing. This isn't quite center, but I'm going to leave it where it is because it lines up. The camera will take care of itself. And there, okay, we're mixing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just, I'm going to leave that. Where's effects control? Where are you? I'm going to leave this guy. I'm just going to move him over. Oops, wrong one. Wrong. Yeah, move it just a little bit closer. So that's really taking that. Okay, I want to show that closing the lid because I'm letting it cook for a minute. And then I'm going to take out the first 8 frames of this guy. Where is it open? That's good. 8 frames. Oops, too far. Not brain surgery, so if I say oops, it's okay. Okay, so now I guess I don't really need the lid being opened. Okay, let's zoom out a bit so we can see. Mixing in the cream. And then what do? Do I close it? Oh, I'm still mixing. Okay, so what did I do here? Mixing and mixing. Don't need all that mixing. What's going on? Let's try this. I like the look of that cross dissolve earlier. Let's try it again. Do we like that? We like that. So that looked That looked pretty good. Yeah, I said I gotta go check something. We're an hour into this episode, and I'd like to work on it for 2 hours if I've got enough interest in material. Okay, so that's that. How many seconds of this lid being fogged up? Okay. Yeah, we don't need it to be fogged up. Okay, so that's close enough. Okay, how long is our show? 8 minutes, 55 seconds. Time is still good. Stirring, bubbling, 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 bubbling. Okay, so this is sort of a gratuitous clip, 16 seconds of. Okay, we got to take off 8 frames here because we lost our sound. That stupid camera doesn't record for the first eight frames. 8 frames is what, a quarter of a second at 30 frames a second? No. Yeah, 30 frames a second. Okay, we're mixing, mixing, mixing. Okay, so here we're going to put in a bit of flour. So where's my taste? Taste test. Let's zoom out. Okay, I'm going to be right back. Just let that sit there for a minute. Okay, I guess I should have just left this running here, right? So if I go, okay, let's see what we've got here. So now, okay, here we are. Okay, that's that. This is a bit too much here, maybe. We won't use that piece. I do want the close-up. I like the close-up. And again, the close-up, partly I took photos of this stuff for the blog and the cookbook. The blog is at sailingcookgeorge.wordpress.com. It's in my video descriptions. Okay, we're going to add some flour. Okay, we stopped stirring here. And then what are we doing? Now we're taking another taste test. So if I look at this, see here, I don't know if, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it on the, I can see it. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's the first 8 frames have no sound. So even though the sound is just the sound of cooking, there's a dead spot, and it feels like okay, let's, if I go here from there to there, let's try this. So this crust dissolve, I rarely use it in any of these videos. That's not bad. We'll keep it in. We'll keep it in. I use it more in music videos and things. But there goes, oh, okay, I'm tasting it. And I got some dialogue about the salt issue, right? Okay, so let's go back to effect controls. Let's zoom out. So does our crust dissolve look good here? Yeah, it's good enough. Talking about salt. And then I'm going to put some salt in anyway, right? So here, let's take out from here, pick this up. Let's go to here. I mean, I'm only eliminating how many seconds? 3 seconds, but still 3 seconds of nothing happening. And then I'm going to do some salt. What's Pinterest want for my life? They want me to look at something. Okay, so now we're going to serve it out. So let's zoom out. Bring it up a bit to fill that screen. So this is it. I'm serving it in a dish instead of a plate because I want the pie, the pot pie concept to be okay. How long is that? 13 seconds of serving. That's not bad. And then what are we doing here? Okay, so then that's that. Then we got the captain talking. So let's get this captain out of the way. And we'll bring in this. Okay, so do we like that? And I don't show me putting how long is that? So that's the enjoy part, right? This. 11 seconds. That's probably a little bit too long. Let's take out a second there. 8 seconds, so we took out 3 seconds. How many seconds now? We're down to 8. So we took out 3 seconds. Okay, so let's take that. Let's bring the captain back in here. And let's fix the captain. The captain is going to talk about how great it is. Get the exposure up. It's nice. Contrast a bit more. Don't mind that at all. 70%. Okay, so this is the captain talking about
traditional chicken.
Okay, and probably the length of this suggests that I said this twice. So let's just go to the second part.
Traditional chicken pot pie.
Let's assume that the reason I did it twice is I wasn't happy with the first time. Let's see, what is it saying? So,
Traditional chicken pot pie has such a wonderful taste, a savory, earthy, aromatic flavor. Here's a stovetop version that offers all the taste without the work to make a crust and doesn't need an oven. Let's cook.
now I think that earthy, savory, those are ChatGPT words. So let's get rid of this.
That was indeed pretty true to their traditional taste. And with only half the work and half the cleanup. Amazing.
Okay, what did I do there? I guess I cut it off. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's deal with our green screen for our captain. Let's see, what are we doing here? Let's see. What was I doing with our captain here? Save you, go away. Okay. Now, captain, yes, captain. We're going to do our green screen, Adobe Ultra key. It will key out the green. Where are we? We've already taken care of our lighting for this guy. Aggressive, I always do have an aggressive option because see how bright it is here and how dark it is there. So that looks pretty good. Let's just see. It gives me the option to look at the alpha channel, and it is amazing. I like it. Perfect. So let's see. Okay, so here is the end of the intro. And there's the outro. So here, the captain does his outro. After we've eaten it, where's our cross zoom? We always do a cross zoom when we introduce the captain. Perfect. And let's take the intro and bring it to the beginning of the video. So let's see where it's going to go. Let's put it here. So we're going to start our movie. Now, the last 2 videos I've done, I've had the captain talking right away. I don't know whether that is better or worse. Let's do it again. So here we're going to put the captain at the beginning.
Chicken pot pie has such a wonderful taste, a savor.
Okay, so we give him 5 seconds, and then we're going to bring this in here. So we're going from The captain.
Savory, earthy, aromatic flavor. Here's a stovetop version that offers all the taste.
Okay, how long is this? What did I say? It's 7 seconds. Doesn't need to be 7 seconds. Because what I want to do is figure out what to do
without the work to make a crust, and doesn't need an oven. Let's cook.
Okay, so I'm going to cut this off here. Let's do our cross zooms. I don't know if this is really what I want to do, to be honest, but let's pardon me. Pardon me again. Let's zoom, and even a third time. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's see how we want this to look. So here, I've got the captain talking.
Wonderful taste, a savory, earthy, aromatic flavor. Here's a stovetop version that offers all the taste without the work to make a crust.
Okay, so let's cut him in half here, and let's move this over. No, don't like that. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, we don't need the first few seconds of this. That's still not right. No, that's wrong. So is the cross zoom going to work here? Okay, it's going to work. Okay, so how long did I make it? I shortened it up a bit, so 5 seconds. When we start looking for music, we want music that's going to come in nicely here. We're going to have the captain talking by himself. Then we're going to have our first blast of music. And then we're going to have, okay, so let's bring this closer. Let's do a cross zoom here. Do a cross zoom. Yeah, I already did one, okay.
Here's a stovetop version that offers all the taste without the work to make a crust, and doesn't need an oven.
Okay, so the music's going to start there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is there's some standard titles and footage that can't tell how the battery is going on this phone that's doing the story. It was 100%, but I did run out last time. So maybe what we'll do, this one, let's just give this battery a bit of a jolt. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Give it a bit of a jolt. %. Okay, so we've got lots of battery life. Hey, Spongy Goldie. Haven't seen you before. Goldfish. I will subscribe. Stick around. Let's give you a wrench. Network if you wish. A few people have left. But stick around, and as I say, I will come back and look at some of your stuff and subscribe tomorrow once all of this is over. Oh, Down Home Misty, yeah, I like her. I like her channel. I like the sound of her voice. Sometimes I just listen to her even if I've got something else on the computer in front of her, just listening. So yeah, well, thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. I always appreciate the company. So here we're making crustless chicken pot pie. Um, and here we've got the, I'm editing the video. So here we've got the captain talking about how great it's going to be. And yeah, I've got to go and steal some footage and effects from another video. Let's go. So there's my liver and cabbage. I never get around to that. Let's go here. This one, aglio olio. So that's from 2 weeks ago. And what we want is a bunch of stuff. So we want this clip, this clip, this clip, this clip, this. Back here we want the titles. I did something different. Oh no, I've got the captain at the beginning on this one as well. So that, I guess I was happy with that. I guess I was happy with that. I don't know whether people were happy with the way I put the captain at the beginning, but we'll give it another try. So it'll be 3 in a row with the captain talking before we get into any actual food. You don't really see a lot of me cooking because I can't think and act and stir the pot at the same time. I've done it, especially now that we're not on the boat. I've done it when I'm on the boat because the boat is smaller. So the recipes that I'm doing actually cooking on the boat are simpler. Let's move this over. And let's move this over. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got let's take all this stuff and move it to the beginning. Got the titles. I think I can safely drag this all the way to the beginning. Yep, there it is. It's a good place for it. Okay, so this is the captain and his good friend Tennille. Okay, so 1 pot. It is a 1 pot recipe, right? And I'm going to try something. See, I don't really like having titles over the captain, but I think I can get away with it. So the 1 pot can stay there. Let's just put a space at the end so it stretches out. Okay, that looks a little bit nicer. And oh, she's alive now. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. And it's not aglio olio. It is what the heck is this? That's the let's cook. And this is an ingredient. So the first ingredient starts here. That's the ingredient. So this ingredient is 2 cups rotisserie chicken. Okay, so that's my ingredient thing. This is my let's cook, which has to come over when the captain says let's cook, right there. And here we've got the captain. Okay, it's not aglio olio. It's what is this called? This recipe. It's called. That's a good question. Chicken pot pie skill. Let's see what if we like that name. It's not bad. I like it.
Flavor.
Okay, so let's move that over a little bit more. Okay, so this one we're going to, where is this? I played with this. I didn't like what I did here. Let's just get rid of yes, I don't want to. I don't want the title moving. I'm not 100% happy with what I did there. What if we do a cross zoom? Is that going to look any good?
Flavor.
Okay, so let's start this at the same time as we started on the captain. How many seconds is this? Okay, so this cross zoom doesn't work here. Let's get rid of that.
Flavor.
Okay, here we don't want this to be. It has to line up properly. What if we just bring the title in once the chicken is zoomed in? That's good. I like that.
Here's a still.
Okay, we're going to take this bit of, which is me sitting in the back of the boat from when the summer was with us. Okay, let's put this here. Let's do a cross zoom here. I don't know why these aren't the right size.
Here's a stove top bit.
Okay, that's good. I like what we've got there. I like what we've got there. And I guess I need to bring it in here again, right? Ooh, shoot, too short. Let's bring that over here for the time being, just so we've got room. This one we're going to make a lot shorter. This guy we're going to bring back to here. And this is the last piece of the background for the captain. And now that it's nicer outside, we're going to spend some time and record some new intros and outros of the captain sitting in the back of the boat, watching the swans come by.
Let's cook.
Okay, so we don't want to cross zoom here. You're gone, you're gone. Oops. We just don't want to.
Let's cook.
So we'll do the cross zoom here. So the how come that's not letting me? Ah, because it's not. Let's do a cross zoom here. cross zoom here. Hey, how come it's not doing zoom? Where is my cross zoom? Cross zoom. What's going on? There you are. Not sure why I didn't want to take that.
Let's cook.
Okay, so we don't need all this cross zoom activity here, right? We got the captain. Let's take all these zooms out. Don't need this one. Don't need that one. Just the cross zoom at the beginning and end.
Aromatic flavor.
I take back what I said.
Aromatic flavor.
That's in there. Okay.
Here's a stove.
Okay, what if I take out this cross zoom? Does that look good?
Here's a stove top.
Okay, so let's take this one out. I don't want too many of us zooming in and out.
Here's a stove top. Here's a stovetop version that offers all the aromatic flavor.
Okay, that's good. And now here.
And doesn't need an oven.
Okay, that's nice.
Let's cook.
And then, okay, so that's the end of dealing with. Hey, Eclectic. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate the company. We're making crustless rotisserie chicken pot pie. No oven. Okay, so there we are. That's good. Now, let's bring that out to here. You don't need that to start till there. Okay, so now here, in the end, let's see what we've got at the end here. You know, I like the crust too. The reason for doing this was to some extent, it's not purely a boat cooking channel, but it's cooking in small, tiny kitchens. So a boat, RV, campsite where there's no oven. Now, my boat has an oven, but the oven hasn't worked. Owned this boat for 8 years. That oven hasn't worked yet. And this summer I'm going to take some time dealing with it. Or, hey, Down Home Misty, thank you for coming by. Get the oven fixed. Now, the problem is it's a propane oven, and I'm worried about blowing the whole thing up. And I got by without the oven for 8 years. Maybe I'll just leave it. But for now, so our focus is a little bit on that kitchen environment where there is no oven. So the objective is to try to do that here.
Work and have to clean up. Amazing.
Let's do a cross zoom here. I think I want a cross zoom. Sometimes I like a cross zoom.
Amazing.
Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Oh no, oops, I forgot that. Let's change that. And we need the back of the boat. Bring that and stick it in here. Okay. Let's get rid of the zoom that's in there now. Let's bring this over. So this is me sitting in the back of the boat. This is from the summer when it was nice and warm to do that sort of thing. This I will record some more of these once the weather gets nicer. The boat's going in the water next week. Next week? Today? No, next week tomorrow. And then hopefully it'll get warm. It was warm last week. Today it's cold. This week's been pretty cold. So we'll see how quickly it warms up. And we'll get back to that. And then what will also happen is then some of the cooking will happen on the boat. Now, they're just moaning about smallness of kitchens. And the problem with cooking on the boat is that there's not a lot of room. And I've got sort of my camera arrangements and my lighting arrangements, and I don't have room for that. So some of the very first videos in this series, the ones with the saltfish and the pancake, some of those pancake ones were cooked there. And then I moved to cooking off-site and just doing some of the commentary sitting on the boat. And then in the middle of the summer, I went back to trying to do cooking liver live, and that didn't work at all. Liver was good, but the cooking as a presentation, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I got to figure out how I'm going to deal with that. Make some more room, and maybe just rearrange, use the main table for my cooking table, doing the cutting up my food over the sink and stuff like that, and that didn't really work well at all. It was uncomfortable. It was hard to make it make sense, and so I stopped doing it. Some people said, well, why don't I do some live cooking on the boat? I think that is a good suggestion. Okay, so this ingredients is not the ingredients for this recipe. These are the ingredients for my aglio and olio. So here's my ingredients for this recipe. Now, I'm going to fix this up so that I can paste it in here. 2 cups chicken, so the word cups should be in front. 1/4, not 1.4 cups. Butter, half an onion, 1 cup frozen veggies. Let's go peas and carrots, because that's what I ended up using. 1 cup, 2 stalks of celery. Which is about a cup. 1 cup of chicken broth. When I wrote this up, I was just making it up as I went. Garlic powder, thyme, paprika, dried parsley, 1 teaspoon flour. Okay, so I didn't do crushed saltine crackers. I ended up, you didn't hear the part where I was pontificating about crackers. Because originally I wanted to do it with crushed crackers. And then I didn't crush them enough. So there were big pieces. And when I ate them, I felt I had too much cracker in each forkful. So then I re-recorded, because I made enough for two meals. I re-recorded the final presentation of the food with full crackers. And I liked that better because I could break off as much of the cracker with my fork as I wanted to. Okay, so let's paste this in here. I think it's going to be a little bit. Okay, so it's a little bit too small. Let's move it up a hair. Okay, so time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it smaller. And we're going to break it into 2 chunks. So flowers needed. So okay, salt to taste. We're going to get rid of that. And I'm going to move this over. And we're going to duplicate this because I don't want to reinvent it. And we're going to move it over. There, so now we've got, and we're going to make it a bit bigger. No, that's not. That's not, because it's not going to fit. Let's take the first one, move it over so that, wrong one, here's my natural ingredients. And this guy, let's move him over further because he is so saltine crackers. So this is basically just my spices. Okay, so that's good. So let's see. Capital F. So that's my, so here I have to see, when I read this, this has to be long enough for me to read that. So if I'm just going to do it very quickly now as a trial. Just to see how long this is supposed to be. So let's turn on, where's my microphone? Where's my, so I use a lavalier microphone to record this directly to the computer. Hey, why is my, so this is my microphone for recording my voiceovers. Let's see how long this this takes. I'm going to re-record it later when I'm not thinking of anything else. Pardon me. What's this? I gotta sneeze. Yeah, I've tried it on the phone. I've been editing for a long time, so I'm used to this. It's overkill. Who knows? It's a strategy. So let's yeah, it's not, it's, yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so let's record this here. Where is my actual, so we're going to read this part here. Okay, oh, but I got to do saltine crackers. Flour is needed. Saltine crackers, then my second column is going to be my spices. So let's, and I can record right in here and just show up right in the timeline. I've tried recording separately, tried recording on the camera, tried recording on a Roland audio recorder. Roland? Can't remember. Maybe it was a Zoom. Can't remember what brand it was. And recording directly to the computer with a decent lavalier mic, wireless lavalier mic, is seems to work. So let's start. Hit the little record button here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, ingredients: 2 cups chicken, 2 cups rotisserie chicken, 1/2 onion, 1 cup frozen peas and carrots, 2 stalks of celery, 1 cup of chicken broth, 1 cup of cream, flour as needed, saltine crackers. My spices: 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/2, sorry, I reread that. 1/2 tablespoon garlic powder, 1/2 tablespoon thyme, 1/2 teaspoon paprika, 1 teaspoon dried parsley, 1 tablespoon flour, salt to taste. Okay, I think I said flour twice. Okay, why is there no sound? What's going on here? That's, why am I not getting any sound? Okay, that was a waste of time. Let's undo that. You're gone. And also we screwed up. So 1 cup of rotisserie chicken. I think I had turned the mute on the wireless microphone. Rotisserie chicken, 1/4 cup butter, 1/2 onion, frozen peas and carrots, 2 stalks celery, flour as needed. Let's do that. And then my teaspoon of flour I don't have. Salt to taste. Spices. Okay, so let's try it again and see if it's more successful. I hate it when things don't work. And that's the downside of trying to do things like, hey, simple, happy life. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Okay, so this, I got to read this. And I'm reading it now. Simply, I want to see how long this has to be. And then, because that's part of my editing process. And then we'll go generate some AI music for this. Because now I know how long my edit is. Let's give it another try. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Ingredients: 2 cups rotisserie chicken, 1/4 cup butter, 1/2 onion, 1 cup frozen peas and carrots, 2 stalks of celery, 1 cup chicken broth, 1 cup cream, flour as needed, saltine crackers for decoration. My spices: 1/2 tablespoon garlic powder, 1/2 tablespoon thyme, 1/2 teaspoon paprika, 1 teaspoon dried parsley, salt to taste. Okay, I saw the VU meter going there, so I know we have recording. So I guess I had pressed the mute button on that other microphone, and that's embarrassing. So let's see. Let's move this guy down.
Rotisserie chicken, 1/4 cup.
Okay, so to make this work, I've got to stretch these things out here to this length. So let's move this guy out to here. Let's take this, this, and this, and move it past. Where do I want it to be? I don't even know where I want it to be. Okay, so that I got to stretch out. That I got to stretch out. Oh no, this let's cook belongs way out here after the, so the here, that's, some seagulls, right? Flock of seagulls. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so that's good. So here,
Earthy, salt, the taste.
perfect. So we've done a good job there. So now, and our whole show is 8 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm not unhappy with that. This is a little bit longer than we need it to be. This is a bit longer than we need it to be. What's going on here? How come? What's going on? Oh, okay, so this one needs a cross dissolve. Okay, so then I'm going to I don't know what's going on there.
Amazing.
That's not going to be the right way here. Cross dissolve. No, not cross dissolve. Cross zoom. Cross zoom. Let's put that at the end here.
Amazing.
Okay, let's try this. Cross zoom here. Cross zoom there.
That's a cleanup. Amazing.
Okay, that's good. So now everything's synchronized, and that works. That works pretty well. So I said I wanted chicken pot pie. I wanted with the crust. And I don't have an oven on the boat. I wanted to target an audience that might not have an oven on a boat or an RV or some other environment. Then got a crustless chicken pot pie. So save this, and let's put this aside. And we've got a few minutes before we have to hang up on this. I'm going to actually minimize this because I want to play with it a little bit. And what is this? This is nothing. Move that over here. And I think I'm going to minimize that. Go away. And I'm going to generate some music with Gemini AI. Gemini AI. And if we just hit here, go away. Not sure what this is all about. Ask Gemini. Okay, why am I not getting, oh, there it is, okay. It's just slow. Great music. So what kind of music is good for chicken pot pie? Well, chicken pot pie is sort of homestead, country, in my mind, kind of food. Okay, Spongy, see you later. Yeah, I'm going to come check you out and subscribe to your channel tomorrow. I really appreciate the amount of time you spent here. Really, 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 really. So let's see, Gemini AI. So country music. So let's find my folder of music, Gemini music. Gemini, here we are. Gemini music. So I played with a bunch of this, and in country, where is my prompt for country? So yeah, let's see what we get from new, and then we can go back and look at some of the old stuff. So this is a prompt that I used. This one has no voice. So I don't want voice, because voice always gets in the way. Um, Leaving the valley floor. And what this prompt is, cowboy guitar and slide guitar in the chords of C, F, G7, no vocals, 120 beats per minute, 2-second intro, 2-second outro. And that worked pretty well. So let's put that in here. And let's just see what they give us. And I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to save this. I had some trouble with Gemini yesterday. I was going into thinking mode down here, and it was not happy with that. It kept crashing on me. So then I got out of thinking mode into what they call fast mode, and it seemed to work. Now, the downside of Gemini is that the downside of free Gemini is you only get 30 seconds. And the upside of Adobe Premiere is it will take a 30-second item and stretch it out to as long as you want it to be. So let's see what this sounds like. Bit twangier than I wanted, but let's save it anyway. Where is my Gemini Music, country? We're going to call it Gemini Country CFG7 120. And we can use that same name to create a text file that we're going to paste the prompt into so that I can see what it did. Now, the thing about Gemini is that even if you run the same prompt a second time, you don't get the same thing. So it's a little bit of a waste of time to keep track of the prompts. But I do want to keep track of like the chords. It's the C, F, and G7th. And it's 120 beats per minute. So that at least the pieces will sound good together. So let's just run it a second time. And see what we get if we do it a second time. Try again. Let's give it another try. Let's see what the new version is. Yeah, I could live with this. Let's, does it have an outro? It has an outro. Sometimes, I ask for an outro. It says it gave me an outro, but there's no outro. I ask for no vocals. It still gives me vocals. So let's save this, and then we're going to record one more. Gemini Country CFG7 120 beats per minute. I'm not a composer, so I'm making stuff up as I go, but I know that CF and G7 generates a nice chord progression that works. And we'll do it one more time, and then we're going to change it to E minor, A minor, E minor, A minor, and a D. I think that's what I tried. I had some good sounding music with E, A, D. Let me just go back here and see what I did recently. It was Italian flavored, A minor, E minor, and C. And that was sort of an Italian flavor, but that was nice. I like that. So we'll try that chord progression and see what it sounds like with a slide guitar. Let's see. High Desert Hideaway. Ooh, I love this. Good intro. I like it. Let's save it. And then let's change the chord progression. Gemini. Country. C, F, G, 7, 120. Intro, outro. It's rare that I get 3 in a row that actually follow the prompt. So let's not sneeze at that. And what is this thing called? High Desert Highway. High Desert Highway text. Let's just copy this. It's the same prompt, so there's really not a lot of point in copying it, but okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to change this to be A minor, E minor, C. Is that what I said? Yeah. Still guitar or cowboy guitar and slide guitar. Let's call it country style. Country flavor. Let's see what it does with that. Country flavor guitar and slide guitar. E minor, A minor, E minor, and C. No vocals, 120 beats per minute. Let's see what that sounds like. So that'll give me a different, totally different sound. Let me get this microphone off. We don't really need this anymore. Don't want to waste the batteries on this thing. And what we're going to do, we're going to take one of these and paste it into the edit project. Okay, shut down. You're off. Okay, put that away. So killing the batteries. Oh, I've created a country style instrumental track. Let's see what that sounds like. So we've got a vocal intro. Vocal intro. Let's save it anyway. And we'll do one more like it. So this is Gemini Country. A minor, E minor, C, 120 beats per minute. And this is version 100, just because I'm going to run 3 versions of the same thing. Okay, something's weird here with my... Yeah, see, I said no vocals. No vocals. Why did I get vocals? let's give it another try and see what they give us. Country clear guitar. So I do want to do 3 of those. So the fact that she's got vocals, I can cut the vocals out, but then I don't have 30 seconds of music anymore. So yeah, I guess we could go over to Suno or one of the other other AI music apps. But as I said, I'm worried about licensing. And if Google owns YouTube, Google owns this. If they say I can use it, then I'm happy. Oh, that's nice. That almost sounds like oh, I love this. I love this. How long is the outro? My God, the outro is longer than the audio. Let's save it anyway. Gemini country. A minor, E minor, C, 120, long outro. The 101. So that will be part of that series and let's run it one more time. But I like the sound of that. That was a nice sound. I'm sure I'm not going to get that sound again. The somebody new just came on board. We're trying to get Google Gemini to give us some music for this video on chicken pot pie, and I'm just generating 3 versions of the same prompt. With Google, with Gemini, with all of these things, you never get the same thing twice. I haven't played with uploading a file because I don't know what file I would upload, but possibly if I uploaded a measure of one of these and then replayed it, maybe it would use that as a so there's 6 seconds of intro, voice intro that I got to get rid of. The rest of this is nice though. The outro is so long. Okay, I'm going to generate one more time and try to get go to 1 second intro and outro. Gemini country AMEMC some rocks intro long outro V102. I'm going to go up here now and go to 1 second intro outro. 1 second intro, 1 second outro. Let's go no in capital letters. Do you think that'll make any difference? Let's see what that sounds like. And that's where I'm going to stop at this point because I do have to put an end to all of this fun. It's 9 o'clock local. And I do need to do some other stuff. So yeah, whoever I missed watching, I'm going to come back to you tomorrow and spend time on your live or spend time on your video. So let's see what we've got here. This is it's slower than 120 beats per minute. Okay, let's try it. I'm gonna run that one more time. Gemini country AMEMC 120 V200. Let's paste, copy this. Prompt. Oh, where did it go? What is it? Oh, porch light. Where's porch light? Porch light. I gotta save this in the right order. Let's get this. Okay, let's run it again. I really like that one. The outro was too long. Why is it? It's giving me 10 seconds outro. Okay, so let's put this aside and we're going to come back to our edit and we're going to bring in the one that we just did. So there's my MP3. See, look at this is how long it is. And the outro is half of the clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, without spending any time second guessing what Premiere might be doing, where it happened to my Gemini. Last one, we're going to keep this one. Where's it? How long is my outro? So 10 seconds outro. I don't know, but what can I do about it, right? What can I do about it? Gemini country. Invent some nice sounds and some nice titles. AM, EM, C120, V201. Save it. Okay, let's do it one more time. While we're not. Let it run over there. So if I get 3, then I end up with a bit more alternatives. Okay, so we're back to our Premiere. And we're going to drag this all the way over to the beginning. Those pieces of audio are supposed to be on this track. So here I'm going to have the captain talking.
Aromatic flavor.
Okay, I like that. So let's see. So what Premiere has is they have this thing they call remix. Let's just save this other one that we got them to do. Let's see how long the outro is here. Is what I'm really looking at. Oh, good. I like this. Good. A short outro. This is good. Let's save this one, and maybe we'll actually use this one here. Only because I like the outro. Gemini country. And I'm naming these things all starting in Gemini, so if I'm going through a whole disc full of video of music, I can remember where it came from. And again, what its licensing issues might be. 120 short outro V202. Okay, so let's get rid of Gemini, and we'll bring that. Let's see what this enable remix. So let's see what it does with this, and if it, depending what it does with this, we'll give it a try with the other thing. Somebody just came by. I'm trying to have Gemini create me some background music for this this video. So let's go in here, and we're going to stretch this out to about here. Okay, so that's nice. So the outro is there. It knows, it does a good job. Okay, so here, see, it's pretty repetitive. So let's change this. We'll try. Sometimes this works. That did no good. See, this is too short really to do a good. Because here each segment is only 5:10 to 5, so it's 15 seconds. So it found 15 seconds of good stuff in the middle. So let's mute that, and let's bring in the last one that we created. It's got a short outro. Let's bring this to the beginning.
Chicken pot pie has such a wonderful taste, a savory, earthy, aromatic flavor.
Okay, I like the intro. Does it even have an outro? It has no outro. So you ask it for an outro, and you don't get an outro. So what we'll do is we'll take the outro from here, because it's the same chord progression.
Well, it tastes.
We'll try to deal with that. So let's see if we can make it fit. So now we're getting into loop editing, right? Okay, let's make this remix, enable remix, stretch it out. Go for fewer segments. Okay, so now each segment is 20 seconds. See, here's segment, starts at 5:20:34, ends at 6:03, so that's 26 seconds, 29 seconds. So it's 30 seconds of before it gets repetitive. So it's not going to repeat very much. Let's delete this thing and find its which movie sound is this? Copper Canyon. So we don't want Copper Canyon. We want the outro from this guy. We're going to stick it on the end here. Okay, so here there's a empty space, There's an empty space. So this doesn't totally match up. What if I go back further? Oh, okay, that's nice. I like that. So let's also take the beginning, the intro from this mess, and use it to make an intro.
Chicken pot pie has such a wonderful taste, a savory, earthy, aromatic flavor.
Okay, so we don't want to start where it's got that high sound. And there's a dead space here at the beginning.
Aromatic.
I don't mind that. Let's see if we can find we'll just do a constant gain audio dissolve. That's not bad.
Has such a wonderful taste, a savory.
Okay, so what we want to do here, let's get rid of that. Now, let's just move it all over. How far can I take this? To the end? I like that. Now the problem here is I want to start this lined up with when the captain's finished talking.
Aromatic flavor.
Okay, so I can't have it do that because that. Okay, so let's put a constant gain in here. So we ended up with a decent looking sounding piece of music. Hey, Film Channel, thank you for coming by. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, sorry, I'm busy editing. I'm talking and babbling while we're talking. So just trying to get some music for the background in here. So we're still gonna, let's go in here, ducking, take this out, that brings it into there. Now, that's good, we're happy. Let's close this, save it, and let's bring this this to an end. I've got to go and do something else. I'm going to come back in just a quarter of a second, so let's let it keep going for a second. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm back. I'm back. So now we do have to, let's turn this camera around. We do have to bring this to an end. So we've got, that was a pretty good edit. I'm not unhappy with the music that we found. It was a little bit, you ask Gemini for music with an intro and an outro, and sometimes you get we got 10-second outros and a 30-second clip. So most of the clip is not usable, right? It's meaningless. So it's a challenge. But again, I like some of the stuff. I like the sounds, and with the Premiere, Adobe Premiere, the stretching the music out is pretty easy to do, and I'm not unhappy with that. It's easy enough to do, and just want to come back to one thing here. Goldie, where did she go? I wanted to just keep her channel. Save that, yes. And then this will be live, what day today is? Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, probably live Friday morning. And I'm going to hope that that we're going to get some interesting responses to it. If there's an interesting concept I wanted to work on, a crustless pie, which is kind of an oxymoron, right? But it ended up tasting pretty good. I like the taste of the crackers on top of the chicken with sauce, and as I said, I was not that happy that I got more cracker than chicken in each forkful at one point. And but outside of that, I like the taste. So again, thank everybody for coming by. Anybody that I missed, I will visit you tomorrow, and we'll do this all again next week. So let me go press the button X. Am I sure I want to stop? Okay, I want to stop.